Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. You know, last year we had a similar hearing where we were critical of the president's proposed budget. They cut a lot of things, and I think you were candid that some of this was not your idea, and ultimately we were able to restore some of the investments I think were important. Let me make two observations about that this year, and then I had a particular question for you. First is on ARPA-E. The Trump administration's continued attempt to fully defund ARPA-E, which is the basic research component of the Department of Energy. It just doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent with your own initial video that talks about innovation. I think we'd all like to get behind that. One of the largest ARPA-E grants ever awarded was in my district to a company called Acades Power. They successfully developed an opposed piston engine that creates more power with lower toxic emissions and increased fuel efficiency, and it's such a great advance that it's now on the way to being the future engine of many U.S. Army vehicles. And I don't think you dispute that that was an important investment for the country. It's not the kind of thing we want to defund. Second, with respect to carbon capture, as you may know that I introduced the Use It Act with my colleague from West Virginia, Mr. McKinley. There are an example of a West Virginian and a Californian working together on energy and environmental issue. I think that's a good idea. It focuses on the need for increased investment in carbon capture, utilization, and sequestration technology, as well as direct air capture technology. The International Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has said that carbon capture is going to have to be part of any strategy to get us to net carbon zero by mid-century. The Department of Energy, your own handout here, says that you want to reduce the cost of carbon capture, utilization, and storage. That's great, but the commitment is not reflected in a 65% cut to CCUS in this budget. I'm not asking for a response on that, other than to tell you that it's obvious that it's inconsistent with your goals, Mr. Secretary, as they're stated. But I did want to ask you a particular question about subsidies. Earlier this week, the IMF updated a working paper on global fossil fuel subsidies, reported the annual global subsidy for fossil fuels at $5.2 trillion. The United States contributes the second largest portion of that, behind only China, subsidizing energy efforts that are not part of our sustainable future. According to the report, quote, removing those subsidies would lower global emissions by 28% and deaths from air pollution by 46%. It's my understanding that the amount that the DOE proposed to subsidize fossil fuels is $489 million. Is that your understanding?
If that's what your numbers show, sir, I don't know that off the top of my head.
It's just from the handout.
Yes, yep.
And I would just ask you, how is it appropriate for us to subsidize parts of the fossil fuel industry that are so mature? Is that really the right role for government? And I'm asking you as a rock-ribbed conservative Texan, does that really want to use government taxpayer money to subsidize a mature industry like fossil fuel extraction?
Here's what I see, sir. I see the United States and our fossil fuel industry, particularly through the development of our natural gas that then turned into liquefied natural gas. We drove down the emissions in the state of Texas by a substantial margin. I'll just give you the numbers quickly. 60% on SOx, 50% on NOx, almost 20% on the carbon dioxide side of it in the period of time from about 2007 through 2015 while I was the governor there. That while we were leading the nation in the creation of jobs and wealth, I might add, that occurred because of the transition that we did from old inefficient power plants to clean burning natural gas. So I will make the statement, and I think I will stand by it, that the tax incentives, the other ways that they calculate a subsidy of the fossil fuel industry, that will have a massive amount of impact as American LNG goes to Europe to take out old inefficient power plants and transition away from coal plants in Germany, for instance. So I think that the tax subsidies that occur to continue to get American technology into these countries and American natural resources like our LNG is absolutely a good investment of our tax dollars.
Secretary, just so we're not confused, I'm not even talking about the tax subsidies. This is direct spending on subsidies out of the Department of Energy.
I still support them, sir.
And I would say that from my perspective, and I think if you look at your goals, to be able to spend $489 million on ARPA-E, which was $366 million last year, is a lot more cost-effective, and I yield back.